I did want to mention, do you guys want to find out a little bit more about the project that I've been working on or helping a friend with? It's something that we can mess around a little bit with on this, a Christmas themed. And Fire's here too, hopefully. But what I've been working on is so basically every year for quite a lot of years now, I think. My friend Adis, who I've done stuff with on the channel before, he runs a Christmas D&D campaign. A lot of times it's normally it's like a great big isolated session, and so normally it's not related to like any other campaigns that we're normally doing at the time. This one was sort of related, but just kind of with some stuff peppered in. And we make a big deal out of it. It's like potluck food. He makes wassail, which is like this homemade cider, for lack of a better term. It's got like cinnamon and like cloves and stuff in it, and just like it's really good. But it's a really big deal, really big tradition with him and me and our friend group. This time he asked me to help co-DM it a little bit, so I kind of so yesterday when we did the session, I kind of had my first DMing experience in actuality, because I've been a player for a long time now with this group, and just haven't really been on the other side of it, but got my first taste of it. It's a little bit, maybe co-DMing is a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but there was one portion of it that he asked for my help with. And basically what I was in charge of is there's this section where we have a bunch of these scenarios that are based around Christmas movies or like holiday TV specials and a whole bunch of things like that. And basically a bunch of the players get put into a certain scenario from those, and they have to figure out what to do. So within that, there's a correct answer for like how to do things right, how to save the day or save Christmas. But also there is a character who's basically Loki, who is hidden in every single one of the scenarios. And so you also have the side mission of finding him and taking him out. And so I thought it would be fun because I do still have the document with them up. I have a bunch of scenarios available. I have 15 in total. We don't have to do that many, but I think it would be fun if we do a few. And there's a few ways we can do them. I'm maybe going to quit the game for now. The music's a little bit annoying. But there's we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it periodically. I apparently already got like 8 achievements. Kind of crazy. But there's quite a few different ways we can pick. If you would like me to just pick some at random, we could certainly do that. If you would like to know how the scenarios went for a specific movie or special that you're a big fan of, if you'd like to pick them directly, we could do that. Like if I just asked you what your favorite Christmas movie or Christmas special is, and if I happen to have that scenario. Because the thing is, like, we kind of half and halved it. I maybe had a couple more than he did. But there's maybe some famous ones that I didn't do, but that's because he did them, and things like that. I will say I was the one basically in charge of the Rankin Bass specials because I love those. um, and yeah, I think it would be fun if we do them almost as if we're doing a D&D session, and so like I'm DMing them to you, and everyone in the chat can participate. depending on how many players the scenario calls for, because with different situations, it depends on how many are playable. But, okay. You find yourself in a multi story suburban house, roomy, well lit, and festively decorated for the holidays. Lots of green walls and furniture complement the Christmas tree propped up in the living room corner. You look down at yourselves and find you're all younger versions of your usual selves, roughly about 7 or 8 years old, young enough that you shouldn't be home alone. And yet it seems you are, but at least you're together. In this illusion, a string of robberies have been springing up all around your neighborhood, and you know that this house you're in will be next. You have a good idea when the culprits will be coming, and you have time, along with many of the items left around in the entire house, in order to prepare. Your rooms are in the attic, and if the burglars reach you there in a certain amount of time, you can consider the challenge failed. I shall supply you with a crude layout of the house for planning purposes. Hence the picture. Yes, it is Home Alone. And don't forget your hints and perception checks are available. Raid the fridge. 17. Okay. Is that for raiding the fridge or for your perception check? I don't know how much is in the fridge. Mm-mm. So for the hint, this will be a bit different from the source material you may know. Traps can be placed in the correct positions if you remember them, but it is not required. Regardless of trap placement, the burgers the burglars will make their attempt, and it's pass or fail depending how far they get in a certain time frame. A good perception check will give you more information on your task and provide you with a list of weapons and traps if needed. Okay. Mm, so I do have a specific list of traps, but I did kind of allow. I think I do recall I allowed an extra thing with the people I played with because they were able to like makeshift something practically. So I potentially could allow that depending on how you're planning to use it. A dump trap. Okay. All right. He's trying to come up with another trap to place, so it's something. I would normally play the setting the trap score during this as well, but I'm constantly afraid of DMCA shit, so I'm leaving the music out right now, unfortunately. But just picture it. Picture something without pictures. Tell your ears to picture something. All right, let me give you the list of traps at least. So the normal traps, you have a set of micro machines, buckets of water. You have an electric barbecue starter, tar, which can be placed on something. You have a long nail poking out of a sheet of sandpaper. You have some glue, a fan, and a great big fan, and a pile of feathers. Christmas ornaments. Heavy filled paint cans tied to string. You have a blowtorch. You have an iron tied to a light bulb. There is also a tarantula loose and wandering around the house. It will be in a random spot unless someone looks for it and contains it. And you are also armed with one BB gun for self-defense. And the BB gun isn't something that can be set as like an auto trap, so someone has to physically be shooting that. And also with the paint cans on string, someone has to manually drop those. And this is just the first floor layout of the house, as most of the traps were laid out on the first floor. There were a few things on the second floor. I can just write some things in at the top if needed. So this one's a little more hands-on and violent intentions or sensibilities. So wherever you want to put traps, and I was just going to copy and paste them, but there's additional information on each one, so I can't really do that. Nails and tar on the basement stairs. Okay. All right. So let me do. Okay. This is a little. This is a little tricky. I don't exactly remember. Is there another set of stairs upstairs in the kitchen? Because these look like the basement stairs in the corner here. And then if you're placing anything else in the basement, we're going to say that this is the basement. The shaded out thing. Because there's some extra rooms in here that I don't remember because I never remember. do not remember there being a further room on this side. And I'm pretty sure the Christmas tree was in this corner. But it does make a little more sense if it's in this corner because one of them like went around to a window, and it makes more sense if it's back here as opposed to all the way in the front. But anyway. Okay. Tar with spike is how we'll do that. Actually, wait. There you go. Okay, it's a little further over than it's supposed to be. There you go. I think that'll help with the visual a little bit more, perhaps, so I'm not blocking anything. Yeah, all right. So you guys don't need to roll for setting up the individual traps in this case. There is a D&D term called take 20, where you're essentially taking, because I mentioned you have enough time to prepare in the scenario itself, so basically you're taking however much time is needed in order to set it up correctly, and you have time enough to do that. Basement is okay. So paint bucket trap, but with a water bucket and the leftover. Can you elaborate on that? Am I able to set up the? I think the electrocution trap is in 2 and not 1. Assuming, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. This is specifically Home Alone 1. The only other thing that's in the basement in 1 is the iron tied to the light bulb. And I just watched it the other night and watched it specifically to get all of the steps and everything. A sink in the basement? Sure, there probably is. Oh boy, okay. I really wish this chat box was longer. I mean, I could technically do that. Okay. Thinking of taking the paint can trap, but replace the cans with a bucket of water in one spot and the leftovers in the other, making them into both slam and dump traps. Hmm. Okay, that could potentially work. The buckets of water wouldn't be sealed up, and the paint cans would. So I guess it would be what are you doing with the paint cans, if anything? Um, yeah, I guess that's the question. But so unsealed water and spoiled leftovers in buckets on the stairs in the usual spot. Electrocute. I swear that's two, man. I swear that's Home Alone 2. Because that's the scene where he's getting shocked and he turns into a skeleton for a split second. I just watched Home Alone 1 2 nights ago, specifically to get these steps, and it was not in there. I suppose there is a small chance that the Disney Plus version of it is edited down, but I don't know. Hmm. Mm, the paint cans specifically are manual. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to turn them into door drop stuff. Um, would you run? Do you want to risk leaving a door open? Because I can mention, I suppose you do have that as an option if you want to leave a certain door or window open as a potential lure, if you think it would help them going a certain way. That I mean, a window open would be one thing, but a door open's quite a risk. So, but it's up to you for what you want to do. Okay, yeah, that's in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The electrocuting. And I did just take this. There is apparently a Patreon credit on this layout up above there that hopefully you can read. Um, I did take this from, I believe it was posted on Reddit. It is just for this. I'm not using it for any monetary purposes or anything like that. Um, just needed a simple visual aid for this. Okay. See the fake trap, which puts them at ease, then get hit with the real trap. Oh, okay. Okay. So Smar is a. Oh yeah, they do have both of them here. Okay. So Smar is thinking of leaving this back door open. Where's the scroll? There it is. Am I blocking it? Not quite, but I can move over a little bit. Smar is thinking of leaving this back door open, and um, I'm not sure it matters, but do the doors? The doors should open. They should swing inward, shouldn't they? They should always swing inward. The one between kitchen and dining room. I don't think there's a door between the kitchen and dining room. I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't remember this room either. It's just like, what the heck is this? It's just a weird layout for a house. Um, you might have. I mean, it's basic stuff you would have around the house. So I'd say you'd have stuff like laundry detergent. Because he's seen doing laundry at some point in the movie. He's got like bathroom stuff. I don't. I do not remember them being anything here. I don't know what this is. Like, if for this, I don't know how they would use this door. Like, how would they get to this door from the outside if this is a room? Or, like, is the. I don't know what this is. I don't remember that room. The north side. Are you talking about. Oh, you're talking about the dining room? Okay, the dining room into kitchen doors. Okay, I thought you were talking about these. But just I don't know what this is. Can we just pretend this is the basement if we're putting things in the basement? Because I do not remember this being here, and I don't even know what it is. Okay, but you're talking about leaving these open. Okay, that's also a little weird having a door right here into that. Again, this is a weird layout for a house. Like if there's stairs right there and both of these doors are open, that's so cringe. That's cringe. I would maybe not have this door, and then this door would make sense, and then that door would make sense, but or just removing this wall. But yeah. Borax? I'm not sure what you mean. We should also try to focus on placing the existing traps and then maybe expanding outward for the sake of time. But yeah, let me go ahead and work on these then. Browned. Gonna do that. Slightly ajar, and then to clarify, you're putting the paint cans here, or are you putting the open or the water and leftovers? I think Smar is already using the buckets. Paint cans on the doors. Okay. Paint can, donna nana 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 paint can, paint can. There you go. I think that looks good. You're basically getting the house layout there, but I need to zoom out one more time. Okay. Is that far enough over, or am I blocking again? It's technically far enough over, but I'll move. There we go. That's nice. Okay, I want to say there are 2 paint cans and 2 buckets. Set it up to swing as the front door opens so it splashes in the face of whatever open it. What do you know what you normally find borax in? Or is there something you're using as an alternative? Like, I think you're giving me the chemical name, but can you give me, like, the item that you would find the chemical in? Because you are children. Household cleaner and a booster for large laundry detergent. Okay. All right, that works. You would find plenty of that, and you would find either of those things. So I just needed the context. Could also just say I want to blind them with cleaning supplies or laundry detergent with soap, and the soap will keep it sticking. Oh, okay. All right. How to concisely depict that with and let me put it this way. So you've taken 2 sets of traps from other places and just applied them to doors. Um, do you care about those other places? Or what are we putting at those places instead? And how are you setting this? You said when they open the door, but are you leaving that door open as well? It's closed until they open it. Okay. How is it being fastened then, or where is it? Because you've got 2 big open buckets, or perhaps one. You said, but I would still need the visual for where you're. And then Smar is left. Or Smar, are you going with the bucket of water or the bucket of leftovers for what you have left? Or you're using both of the buckets on the door now? You're using both of the buckets now. Is Smar okay with that? Well, so Samar, there's only 2 buckets. So at first at first Fire took one for his concoction, but now it sounds like he needs both of them. Okay, I'll do micro machines at the top of the stairs then. We're just gonna, since this is a first floor layout, I'm just gonna have this general area as the upstairs. And here, I'm gonna do like red. Just for a visual. Okay. Okay, I think I need to move it over to the side again. That just seems to be the concise way to do it. Okay. Yes, I did say 2 buckets and 2 paint cans, so but originally Smar had ideas for all of them. So before the paint can, Smar said that he was taking 1 bucket of water and 1 bucket of leftovers for the stairs. I clarified that there were 2 buckets. And so you took maybe one of them for your concoction, but now it sounds like you need both of the buckets, and now Smar doesn't have any buckets. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. But I went ahead and put the micro machines at the top of the stairs. They're just outside on the map because there isn't a second floor layout. I'm looking at the I don't believe the iron is set up. The iron could maybe work as a counterweight. Those things are pretty heavy. You have a large fan that could probably work as a counterweight. It's pretty interesting. You guys are throwing a lot of stuff in here. The in the actual session we did, it had a was dealing with at least one person who knew the source material very well and just wanted to place everything correctly, and I tried to encourage them not to, and they made a couple things more efficient, and so it was still fun. But you'll use the fan for counterweight. Okay. I do like that because that the whole glue fan and feather thing kind of a useless trap anyway. I mean it's an old joke, tar and feathering people, but I don't think it actually does anything to them. Okay. How do I draw this then? Okay. That oh, that's an interesting idea. Like pour the concoction into the fan, perhaps, and then it gets sprayed on them. That's very interesting. Front door is set up a hair trigger system. Fan is bucket. Okay. Do you want to stick with that, or how do you feel about Smar's idea? Won't work with fan blowing, you think? Okay. All right. Swing and blind. Okay. Is there a certain direction you're setting it up to swing? So say it's when they come in the front door, are you trying to have it swing right to left, left to right, or it's set up further ahead, swings toward the door opening? Along with like visualizing it for later, I do also have to scribble it in here. So trying to get the right visual. Towards the door. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me struggle with my minimal drawing skills to draw this. Okay. So we're gonna have fan counterweight, string, string. Let's see. String, and then bucket filled with stuff. I zoomed out too far. I really wish when I'm scrolling out it would just keep, like, it would center it again. I understand zooming in at a right place and that's nice, but okay. Okay, so we've got that. So the micro machines are already up on the second floor. That's the little red thingies over here. And I mean, honestly, you need something on these stairs because you've taken the buckets and the paint cans, which were, well, the paint cans were used on the stairs, so you've taken the trap that was there and put it elsewhere. And also the buckets were used to make the stairs, the front stairs and back door or basement stairs outside. icy. And so you've taken that away as well, just so you're aware. The interior basement stairs have the tar and the spike. Yes, I'm talking about these stairs outside. The buckets of water were to make these stairs icy and these stairs icy. And so the outside stairs are no longer trapped, is what I'm saying. At least not yet. Let's see. Let me give you guys what stuff is still not used. You have an electric barbecue starter. You use the fan, but you still have glue and feathers, if there's any use for them. You still have Christmas ornaments. You still have a blowtorch. You still have the iron tied to a light bulb. You still have the tarantula and the BB gun, deciding who gets to hold that. Or I think Smar let Fire hold it. If that just wasn't just a passing joke. Oh, excuse me. Heat up the back door handles, okay? So are you thinking main back door or basement door? Main, okay. I like that. You do have a pretty sizable trap set up in the front, so putting it on the front again where it normally is wouldn't make much sense. I think I can do a hot doorknob here. There you go. And it's like, okay. I had to like look up what this thing is actually called because I did not like watching him use it in the movie. I had no idea what it was, but a couple things said it was an electric barbecue starter, and I'm like, okay, sure. Did not know. Okay, was under the impression we each had a gun at the time. There is just the one BB gun, unfortunately. It's a Red Ryder. Don't shoot your eye out. That's a different movie. I did not have that movie to do the scenario for because I don't like that movie. Put glue on the knob. Oh, so would the glue so how does the glue react to the heat? I guess is what would need to be figured out. Chemically, don't agree. Would they be so? That may cause issues. I mean, the idea is to cause issues, but I'm not sure if they're the kind of issues you want. Okay. The glue would come off with the heat. Yeah, okay. Mix the glue with the feathers, dump it on them, and light them on fire. That the actual party I did this with came to a similar conclusion. Although the fan has already been used, what they came up with, because the the fan and feathers and everything is normally when they open the door in the dining room. What they did is they moved it up to the kitchen, had that set to go off first, and then the blowtorch that's normally there went on them after. So it set more of them on fire because of everything else being flammable. The feathers definitely would be, though, I would think. I think the idea is the feathers are more flammable, and so things spread a little more. Hmm. Think think it said I got a third unique chatter. Oh, is that just me type? I shouldn't count. I shouldn't count. Okay. Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. We got a few more things set up. Glue trap at the heated door, so if they bust in, the starter could fall into the feathers and glue, igniting them while keeping them in place. Okay, so are we keeping the are you setting up the blowtorch over there as well? Because the barbecue starter is going to make the doorknob hot, but it's not going to light anyone on fire. I'd love to have background music or something going, but DMCA exists, so. And then my computer might just get insanely hot if there's also a game running in the background. These are also taking a little longer than expected. Though I imagine that's just a symptom of the medium through which we're trying to do it, where it's easier to just talk it out in person like the session was, and then swap the fan for the iron and make a sticky feather flamethrower. Okay, so iron is the counterweight for the bucket instead, and then okay, I can do that at least. No, all right. Let's try and change this into an iron. It's already kind of got the thing there. Haha! All right. Okay. So you mentioned a flamethrower, so you're trying to do are you trying to do the blowtorch through the fan? Or basically what I described, but just like the normal trap with the glue, fan and feathers, and then the blowtorch goes off. But you can position it wherever you like. Um okay. It almost if I'm understanding you correctly, you want the blowtorch to light the feathers on fire first, and then you want the fan to blow the fiery feathers at them? Hmm. Okay. All right. And you said blowtorch by the sink. Okay. Yeah, I don't really need an extra effect, but I'll put some yellow in there too. Hehe. All right. And then we also want the fan and feathers in there. Mm. And you did still want it at the back door, right? Because you I I'm pretty sure you said blowtorch at the sink, so. Um, well, did you need the glue to attach the feathers to them? I'm just so good at drawing. Yeah, so I'm that's what I'm trying to I'm trying to clarify the difference between. Okay, let me do it. Let's do it this way to compromise a little bit. Maybe there's a way to just spill glue on them from above, ideally. That way, some glue gets on them, and then probably it will end up on the floor under them, so there's a chance that they'll get stuck too. How about that? Because it sounds like the consensus for both of the situations is the glue needs to be on them in some way, whether it's their feet or their body. But I mean, it needs to be on their body and stuff so the feathers can stick to them, and it needs to get to their feet. So leave the door ajar. Well, this is the door with the hot handle on it. We sure do want them to get through this door. Yeah, and I don't think they get past the hot door handle if they go any entrance. Well, I mean, how to trap the glue to spill? Yeah, I mean there isn't a whole lot by the basement entrance. I mean, sure you have the stairs from the basement up into the rest of the house protected, but so there was a hold on. So yeah, okay. So I don't think it was included in the list here, but I think what they did in the movie is they had they walked into like a sheet of plastic that was propped up at eye level and it had the glue on it. And so they walked into the plastic, got glue all over themselves. As an alternative to just propping something at the top of the door again. I don't know if that's gonna that won't let it get on their feet though, but it's going to keep them in front of the fan and the blowtorch though. Plastic wrap, yeah, it was something like that. Okay. Okay, let's see. So we'll just put that up. All right. This should be easy enough. And there are surfaces here to connect it to as well, so it makes a lot of sense. So you have sheet of plastic right about there. Fan blows the feathers, blowtorch goes off. There you go. Okay. Okay. Been doing an evil overlord run of Skyrim. Kind of made Ace look like an evil dork. Okay. Blow the feathers on them. Yeah. Okay. So that's set up. What do we have left? Okay. First half is used. So there's still Christmas ornaments. The iron is used, so can't use that. There's still the tarantula. And if the BB gun's figured out, then that's it. I suppose I still need to draw out what Smar's doing with the other bucket, huh? And did you decide on the water or the leftovers for your one bucket, Smar? Top of the basement stairs. Okay. All right. I guess yeah, so this is the door from basement to kitchen. I'll put them over here then. Orb. Orb. And a green orb, so I don't think there's something else. I meant to make them all as small as the first one, but it didn't work out that way. Okay. All right, so we got the ornaments. Paint cans were at the main stairs and was replacing the two paints with the different things. So the buckets of water were originally put on the outside stairs to make them icy. The paint cans were originally on the inside stairs to be thrown down. But so we have the paint cans. We have the two paint cans on top of the dining room doors, so they're going to fall on them when those open. Fire is using one of the buckets for his concoction, and that's going to swing and hit someone when they open the front door. And so yeah, the two paint cans are still being used. They're not being replaced. One of the buckets of water has been replaced with Fire's concoction at the front door. So my understanding was you were putting the leftovers in a bucket. So that's why I was trying to confirm, are you using the bucket for water or are you using it for leftovers? Because I thought the intention was to put it in the bucket so it could potentially dump on them, because the bucket is open, unlike the paint cans. Okay. I'm questioning I'm questioning the logistics of like what shape the food container would be in and how you would be able to tie it and potentially dump it. Because yes, they're probably in a container, but did I not already get that? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Takeout box or Tupperware. Okay. Yeah, I guess I just need more of the specifics of how you're tying it. And yes, is someone going to rustle up the tarantula, or are we letting it hang out in a random spot? I really like this one. This one's fun. It can be done so many different ways. You can either do it straight if you know the source material well enough, but it's just so fun to play around with. And just turning it into tower defense basically. Okay, so take all right. Tying it around the bowl. Okay. All right. So yeah, if it's tied that way, it's probably going to end up lopsided. So what you're probably going to be doing with that is you're not necessarily going to hit them with the container itself, but it's going to swing and splash everything onto them, which I believe is technically what you're going for, but I'm just letting you know. That is 100% the intent. Okay. All right. So let me get that drawn. So you mentioned you've got okay. Still got shape of a bucket of water. Form of spoiled leftovers. Okay. And then you have these drawn with string. Okay. I don't know why I clicked on that. All right. Okay. His name is Carl, and he shall save us when we most need it. Are we keeping it random though? Then with the tarantula? Because yes, he ends up in a specific spot um in the movie, but because this is slightly different, it's going to be random. But okay. All right. So the consensus is tarantula will be random. All right. Do you have anything else to potentially place? Let's see. We did the Christmas ornament. I think that is everything. I think that is everything. Okay. That appears to be everything that I have written down. I know normally Kevin's back by the back door with the BB gun to start with, but you guys have the back door pretty secured back there, I would say. So I believe it was decided Fire has the BB gun, so where does he want to be with the BB gun? And you guys don't have a lot in the left side of the house. There's nothing in that living room over there. Um, and there isn't really anything. You have something going into the dining room, but not really elsewhere. Okay, you'll be hidden upstairs. Um, Second floor upstairs or attic upstairs? Second floor. Okay. So just trying to visualize the exact positioning here. So are you so saying imagining the bathroom is like the second floor balcony? Are you going to be up here like to shoot them while they're down here, or are you prepped for after the bucket and the leftovers hits them? So like after this trap, sniper position, so the first one. Okay. All right, so let's go. Okay. I could have just did a text thing, but I'm a color. Yay! I did that with the mouse. Okay. And and so I assume Smart is up there with you because he's going to be throwing the things down, correct? So you guys are up on the second floor together? Okay. All right, let me see here. Okay. Okay, so I've got 6 possible entryways or pathways. Oh no. Okay, so I have 6 potential pathways written down here. So what I will do is I will roll a d6 to determine where the okay, where the tarantula is going. And that'll just be our little secret. Me and the tarantula. Hmm. Okay, that should be interesting. All right. And you guys definitely changed up where the traps are quite a bit. Gonna go with I do have the original trajectory from the movies here, so I will be going with that. One thing I do want to mention, since you guys didn't do the perception check, I will just give you the information on that. So there are multiple landline phones you can use to contact the police at any time as soon as the burglars arrive. It will take the cops 10 minutes to arrive once called. And so it is going to be important for one of you to call the police at some point. But, so we are ready to start. And so you first hear the burglars at, let's see, what color should they be? I think black, maybe? Let's go with, I don't know, maybe maroon? Okay. So you hear them at the back door first. They knock and say, "We know you're in there, kids, and that you're all alone. Would either of you like to call the police?" Okay. Well, you guys are technically upstairs, but it's quite a voice if you're able to taunt them when they're all the way up there and you're on the second floor. But okay. So Smar called the police. Okay, so 10 minutes. Let's see. Where should I up here? Just going to do it all with drawing for the sake of convenience. All right. This will be interesting. It's very, very different trap placement, so we're going to have to see. You dialed and left it off the hook. Okay. All right. I mean, what's done is done for the sake it needed to be done for the sake of the timer and everything to work with this. So just would have worked against you if you didn't do it right away. Okay. So okay. I'm just reviewing the steps here because it's going to be quite a bit different. So I'm trying to figure out how things go. But this is good. This is exciting. Because you're going to be, I mean, if I follow the normal trajectory with the traps you guys have placed, it's probably going to change their trajectory because of how things go. So they tried the back door like normal. So Harry tries the door, burns his hand, has to put it in the snow. Okay. Marv goes and tries the basement, and he gets in. Technically speaking, police have to respond to a call even if no one talks, so it's a tactic. Okay. Depending on how long the call is active, they may hear some of the antics as well. I don't know how useful that is, but okay, let's see. I'm trying to actually hold on. Because at the beginning, Marv has a crowbar and Harry doesn't. So yes, Harry hit his hand or burned his hand on the door, but he's gonna then have Marv open it with the crowbar to avoid the hot handle again, since they're both there to start. Okay. But then because of that, so Marv opens the door. I'm going to say they both go in at the same time. So they both get hit with the plastic, both get hit with the feathers, and then they both get hit with the blowtorch and run back outside, back into the snow. So that's going to be 2 more for both of them. Let's see. Yeah, this is very different. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say Harry keeps going in once his hand is healed up, and then Marv goes down, tries the basement, and gets in. Harry goes through this dining room door, gets hit with the paint can. Yeah, potentially not. Cause yeah, if I hadn't seen the movie 2 nights ago and remembered that Marv had a crowbar, it maybe would have been different. But it just seemed to make too much sense. It's just like, oh, we can't touch this door handle, but because Marv specifically uses the crowbar to get into the basement door, and so he's got it on him. It seemed to make too much sense. I'm sorry about that. We'll see. So there's no hazards in the basement itself. Marv goes to the stairs. He loses his socks and shoes on the tar. He steps on the spike and falls back down. Marv continues through the dining room, and the tarantula jumps on him, buying you a bit of time. The tarantula ended up in the dining room for you. Okay. I'm trying to be nice and account for trajectories because I know what Marv does next. But you've accounted. It's kind of weird that they're just like, oh, I stepped on a spike on the stairs. I guess I'm just not going up the basement stairs again. And then he just goes in a different direction. But okay. To be nice, I'm going to have him come back out. He goes around and tries the front door. He can still get through it with his crowbar, but he gets hit and blinded with the concoction. This is the man from the window setup. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. But all right, so Marv is blinded. Harry is in the dining room dealing with the tarantula, so they run into each other and hit each other. So that worked out. Man from the buying time until the antagonist goes away rather than take them on. Yeah, it's kind of because I don't fully understand what Kevin was trying to do in the original. Like, I don't know why he called the police and gave them the address of a different house and then went over to that house. I don't. Did he not want his parents to know the police were called to their house? Like, I don't. But I just figured it was a little easier this way with the whole tower defense thing, where you have basically an outpost where you're set up at the top of the house, and it's just, or like what is it? The final battle in Return of the King, where they infiltrate the lower levels, but you don't want them to get up to the top. But I think this is fun, and there's so many different opportunities and things with it. Um, but okay, so fire, they're in the front room. They're in the front room. They just ran into each other. They're getting back up. Do you say anything? Do you want to shoot them with the BB gun? Because you're on the second floor balcony, looking down at them in sniper position, as you yourself said. Would you like to shoot them first, or do you want to wait for them to come up the stairs and Smart does his thing? You start blasting. No one of them's out. Okay. All right. Okay. So they get hit with the BB gun. That's just going to count as one for now. All right. All right. I'm going to say Harry starts up the stairs first afterward, leading Marv along with him. All right. So, Smar, which one are you throwing first? It's starting to not look good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is interesting. throw the ambiguous food stuff. Okay. All right. So as what happens in the movie, Harry sees it first and manages to duck. So Marv is the one that gets splattered with it. He loses his grip on. He loses his grip on Harry, and let's see. He falls, but I'm trying to figure out because I think the fall afterwards is what causes the one, and not necessarily him getting splattered with the stuff, because that alone wouldn't slow him down. But he does fall. Okay, and then I imagine you're throwing the bucket of water. Okay, bucket of water hits Harry. Harry falls. Fire, they're down at the bottom of the stairs again. Do you want to do anything? Blast him. Okay. I'll say you managed to hit them both again. Um, this is tricky because I'm not really sure how to proceed with Marv since he's blinded. Poor guy, he also lost his shoes and socks, but didn't step on the Christmas ornaments this time. Scurry after fire, just to say it. All right, careful of the micro machines, but you know they're there, so I'll give it to you. You don't have to check or anything for it. You've got time to a little bit of time to be careful around it since they're still recovering. Um, well, oh, you checked for fun and got 15? All right, that's fine. That's plenty. Zip line out the window, someone you need to worry about. Well, we're in this situation. We're not doing the zip line and everything. It's just you're holed up in the attic, and you just need to make sure they don't get to you in time. It's easier that way. I considered it from a few angles. I first thought was maybe um like you guys are protecting Kevin while he does this or does the zipline part, and so you guys are doing this as the distraction. But I don't know. This seemed like the best way to do it. Just straight up tower defense, defending a certain area. Okay. Because I'm not really sure what to do with Marv if I don't do this, just gonna have the same thing where Harry is leading Marv up since Marv is blind. So they go up the stairs. Both of them trip on the micro machines. So Harry does not get to you in time. All right. Um, Marv is blind. So this could go a few different ways. Ooh, let me roll a 20 to decide. Hmm. That's neither incredibly successful nor an epic failure. So he just kind of. Do they fall back down? So you did specify the top of the stairs, maybe? Or I don't know how specific you were about it. I think maybe Fire was more specific about top of the stairs for the ornaments by the basement. But I took this to mean they're just like on the second floor, the micro machines, and so they kind of just fall to the ground on the second floor. But Harry just kind of tries to feel his way around for a bit, not really getting anywhere. Let me maybe do one more roll to see if he wipes the stuff out of his eyes. He does. Okay. Intent was to have them fall down. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So he manages to wipe the stuff out of his eyes a little bit so he can sort of see where he's going. He does just need one more hit, and Fire, you still have the BB gun. Do you want to shoot him or hit him with it in some way, or what do you want to do? It's all on you. Roll a disadvantage? Okay. Um, okay. I did roll two 20s, so let's go with these first two 20s I did were him just trying to feel around a bit. And so that still wasn't incredibly successful. So he wasn't able to find you that way. So now I'll roll two more. Oh boy. Oh boy. You shouldn't have told me to do that. He rolled two 18s. So I think he's got the stuff out of his eyes. But I mean even if he didn't, with these rolls he kind of needs to be all right. He needed to be hit with one more thing. All right. And if I had planned a tiny bit better or was a little more meticulous about things, I would have given people a set amount of BBs that they have available. If I remember correctly, Buzz has. So the BB gun is in Buzz's room, and then he's got a whole stash of stuff. So I'd like to think he has a decent amount of BB rounds if needed. So I could have accounted for it, but I just kind of left it ambiguous. But it's probably a little too OP the way it is. But all right, good job, guys. All right. So you successfully bought enough time for the police to arrive, and they enter and apprehend the burglars. Thanks to you, the wet bandit streak has come to an end, and they won't bother anyone for at least a couple of years, because the sequel comes out 2 years after this. Your parents and family will also arrive in the morning, and everything will be as it should. Happy Crisis. Merry Chrysler. Wet streak, yeah, something like that. But yeah, that one's really fun, and you could just do that endlessly with different groups of people, and it could just end up completely different each time. It's so fun. So while I'm working, that is the list of all the ones that I did. Maybe if it's okay. Wondering if maybe that helps the readability a bit, so it's not on that menu underneath. But let me know if you want to do any of the other ones there that we haven't done, so you guys get to pick and actually know what the hell you're doing. So I don't make incorrect decisions again.